Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm out here with an FNX 9mm service pistol. The FNX is a polymer framed double action pistol that's manufactured by FNH. FNH, or Fabrique Nationale, is a Belgium company, but they also manufacture firearms here in the United States. This particular firearm is a USA built handgun. FNH has been around for a very long time, and they're actually one of the largest small arms manufacturers for the US military. Anyway, let's take a closer look at this FNX 9mm service pistol. The FNX pistol is available in a number of different calibers: 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 45 ACP. The 45 ACP is a much bigger handgun. The 9mm and the 40 are roughly the same size. This is the 9mm FNX. Now this pistol is a second generation handgun. The handgun that came before this was the FMP. And if you want to get technical, in the US market, the first model of this handgun that was available was the Browning Pro handgun. It was the same thing as the FMP, which was marketed in Europe. However, they called it by the Browning name because the Browning name, according to the Belgians who manufacture the handgun, has a better market appeal in the United States. Eventually, that brand name was changed over back to FNH and the FMP pistol. The FMP pistol and the FNX are very similar. However, the FNX departs from the original FMP design in a couple of key areas. Let's talk about the magazine first. The magazine of the FNX is different than the FMP. It has the same basic size and dimensions, however, it does not work in the FMP pistol. The floor plate is of a slightly different profile and the locking mechanism is different. The grip on the FNX is very similar to the FMP. It also features removable back straps that you can replace with the ones that come in the box. It comes with several different back straps that you can try, finding the one that fits your hand the best. The magazine release is ambidextrous. The FMP also had ambidextrous magazine release. However, the profile of this button has slightly changed. The original FMP was round, and this one is somewhat oval shaped. This pistol is a double action pistol, which means when you pull the trigger, the hammer will be drawn to the rear for the first round that's fired, and after the handgun fires that first round, it will cycle, and the next shot will be single action. Notice the trigger is to the rear, as is the hammer. The pistol has an ambidextrous frame-mounted safety. The FMP also had the same safety. However, this one has a polymer lever where the original FMP was made out of a folded piece of sheet metal. Another difference with this particular handgun from the FMP is you'll notice the slide release or the slide stop. It's present on both sides of the handgun. That is a departure from the original FMP design. The pistol is very easy to take down. It has a disassembly lever here, which is identical to the original FMP, but it has rear and forward slide serrations. This forward slide serration is new to the FNX series of pistols. You'll also notice that the pistol has a 1913 style rail, Picatinny rail across the bottom. The original FMP just had one notch. This has a full set of notches so you can adjust where you set the accessories that you mount to the dust cover of this pistol. It has standard 3-dot sights, which are the same basic profile as the original FMP. And everything else is pretty much the same. The grip angle feels about the same, and the handgun has very similar shooting characteristics as the original FMP. However, again, the FNX is just the upgraded or second generation pistol. Let's do a little shooting with the handgun and see how it does on the range. Now guys, if you're going to carry the handgun, you're going to want to get a good holster. Every handgun I buy these days, I order a Raven holster, and this is the Phantom from Raven. It's a Kydex holster that's modular, meaning you can carry it inside the waistband or outside the waistband. Again, I've had very good luck with these holsters. I'll put a link to the Raven website down below. To shoot the handgun, you'll want to make the handgun ready. In this case, I'm going to grab a magazine, insert it into the grip of the pistol, load the pistol, and you'll notice that the hammer stays to the rear. You have two options here. You can put the safety on and carry it cocked and locked. You can also load the weapon with the safety on. Again, you can carry it just like a 1911 this way, or you can pull this lever down and it will safely drop the hammer down. So now you have a double action first shot trigger pull. Let's put a few rounds down range. The first shot will be double action. It has a very light, crisp trigger pull, probably right around 5 pounds. The double action is surprisingly easy to actuate. Part of that is due to the trigger design. Let me show you what the trigger looks like here after I finish out emptying the magazine. Last shot, slide does lock open. You can drop the magazine out, grab another magazine, and insert it, which I'll do here in a second. Let's talk about that double action trigger. You'll notice the double action trigger has a very gradual rake to it. It also has no texturing on it. When you pull the trigger, it's very smooth and allows your finger to slide down the trigger, giving you more and more leverage as it draws further and further to the rear, which makes that double action really very smooth. It's heavy, probably 12 pounds or more, but it's smooth and it makes that first shot double action very easy to score a hit with. Again, once the pistol fires, that hammer will stay back and the rest of the shots are single action. Overall, you'll notice the handgun's very small in my hands. It has the feel and the heft of a service pistol. However, this 4-inch barrel and the overall size of it, how low it sits in your hand, it makes it feel like something of a compact pistol, although it's not. It's not quite as big as a service pistol like the Beretta or the SIG P226 or even a 1911. It's a little bit smaller and it feels that way in your hand. It doesn't feel very heavy either. It points nicely and the sights are nice and bright and easy to pick up. Overall, shooting the handgun is a real pleasure, and I do like it, and it shoots pretty well. Accuracy on the FNX 9mm is pretty much what you would expect. 7 to 10 yards you'll find, and this is shooting Wolf 115 grain ammo. That's about a 2-inch 10-shot group. Down here, doing a little bit of rapid fire, the first shot double action. It just depends on how familiar you are with double action. You might pull the first shot, but it'll, again, shoot center of mass. The handgun cycles just about every type of ammunition you can think of, hollow points, ball rounds, whatever. Again, we're shooting out here this afternoon 115 grain Wolf steel-cased ammo. The FNX 9mm comes in this plastic case that you see here. The FNX is a very simple handgun to disassemble. It's much like many other handguns that are on the market. To disassemble the pistol, you'll want to drop the magazine out of the handgun, check to make sure that it's clear. You can do that by locking the slide to the rear, checking the chamber area. Let the slide go forward. There's a disassembly lever right here on the left-hand side of the handgun. Push up on your slide stop and draw the slide to the rear. That will allow this disassembly lever the ability to rotate down. Now you just release the slide and ride the slide home off the frame. You do not need to pull the trigger to disassemble the handgun. The handgun will come apart into two major components. This is your lower assembly receiver area, which has your trigger components, and then of course this is your slide, barrel, and recoil spring. The recoil spring is captured. It comes out very easily. To remove the barrel, you just push up on the hood and draw it out the rear of the slide. Again, it's very similar to other handguns on the market. To return it assembled, you just put the barrel in, put the spring back in place, slide it on the rails of the receiver, lock the slide to the rear, and return the disassembly lever to its home position. Now you can cycle the action, do a function check, make sure the pistol's working. This handgun is available not only in the matte finish that you see here, but it also has a stainless steel that's kind of a bead blasted look that's available. This particular handgun can be found online for right around $550. You'll pay a little bit more for the stainless steel slide upper. The handgun will come with two different basic profiles of back straps, but you'll have 4 back straps in total. The back strap that comes on the handgun is of the larger profile, meaning it fills your hand more, and it'll have the aggressive texturing. You'll also have another back strap that's the same basic profile in terms of how much of your hand it fills. It will just have a less aggressive texturing. You'll also receive 2 smaller profile back straps, again, for the same basic profile in terms of how they fill your hand. One will have a less aggressive texturing, one will have a more aggressive texturing. The pistol will also come with a lock, a fired case in the bag for those states that require it, and the owner's manual as well. Overall, I'm very pleased with the quality of the handgun. The FNX 9mm is well made and it's coming from a reputable company. FNH has been around for a very, very long time, and as I mentioned, it's a small arms manufacturer that supplies military small arms to the U.S. military. Overall, I'm pleased with the way the handgun feels and the way the handgun shoots. It's a very small, light handgun, only weighs about 22 ounces, and it's a little over 7 inches in length, so it makes a very good candidate for a concealed carry pistol. This pistol, as I showed you earlier in the video, is a double action service pistol. It's also available as the FNS. The FNS is the striker fired version. I do typically prefer striker fired handguns, although I've found that with this particular double action auto, I do like it and I seem to shoot it fairly well. If you guys have any questions about this particular handgun, you can ask those questions on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/military arms. As always, everybody, thanks for watching, thanks for those subs, and we will talk to you guys soon.